So this is on the preeminence of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They open with these lines. How could other prophets ascend to your heights, O Empyrean, whose canopy no sky can surpass? They can never reach your elevated stature, your splendor and glory tower over them. They reflect your qualities to all of humanity the way water mirrors the firmament stars. You are that lamplight of every virtue. All other lights emanate from your light. You possess the essence of what is knowable, of the unseen beyond the names Adam knew. Esteemed fathers and mothers, an unbroken line were chosen for you from the cache of creation. No period passed between emissaries of God, but prophets told their people of your time. All prior ages boastfully vied for you. Each era surpassed the prior due to its proximity to you. And you came forth from one ascendant noble after another, you whose fathers were all noble. A lineage due to its ornaments, the heights reckoned Gemini had bestowed stars upon it. A necklace of distinction and destined glory, and you are its unique sacrosanct jewel. A face like the brilliant sun shines forth from you, revealed by a birth night filled with white light. Your birth night brought about religion's joy, followed by a day pulsing with pride-filled glory. Glad tidings of unseen voices, one after another. The chosen one arrived today. Joy is justified. That day, Wahab's daughter achieved by birthing him a glory and pride never garnered by prior women. She brought her nation a nativity more grace-filled than what the Virgin Mary before her had borne. Born with the crown of his head, heaven bent. In the tradition, the Prophet was looking up to the heavens. One of the things that we've lost in the modern world is the ornamentation of ceilings. Ceilings in pre-modern cultures were always adorned because they wanted people to look up. They wanted them to contemplate the beauty of what was above them. Born with the crown of his head, heaven bent, and in that elevation, what portent of purpose. His gaze set upon the heights of heaven, the apple of the eye of one whose object is heaven's heights. Lustrous and radiant stars drew down toward him, and by their bright lights, lands turned luminous. During his nursing, what clear miracles manifested, such that for beholding eyes nothing was concealed. The wet nurses refused him due to his fatherlessness, saying, what benefit can an orphan bring us? Then upon him a maid came from the clan of Sa'ad, whom prior mothers had refused due to her poverty. Halima Sa'diyya is really one of the great, amazing women of our tradition. First of all, her name Halima is very interesting because Halima is in Arabic is nipple. And Halim is intelligence, but it's also somebody who's calm and stilled and at peace, because intelligence can only occur in a mind at rest. When the mind's agitated, there's an obstacle to using intelligence. And so Halima, and then Sa'diyya is a beautiful word, because Sa'ad is joy and happiness, Sa'ada. So she's Halima Sa'diyya. All the names around him have meaning. Barakah is there, is beautiful names. Khadija, which is, Khadija is from Khidaj. It's somebody who needs something else, because she is fulfilled with the Prophet. She had two husbands before him, so she was Khadija, and then she became Khadija al-Kubra. The Halima Sa'diyya came, and it was a time of drought in the Bani Sa'ad. They're nearby Mecca, but they all came in on their donkeys, and she had a female donkey that was very weak because it didn't have much to eat, and so it was the last one there, and so they were all riding their donkeys, and poor Halima, because she was the poorest amongst her clan. And believe it or not, I lived with Bedouin. There are rich Bedouin and poor Bedouin. So some of them have really nice tents, other ones have really poor tents. But there is distinction, there's class distinction amongst Bedouin. So Halima Sa'diyya had her little donkey that was lagging behind all the others. And when they came, they all rejected Amina's child because they thought, it's an orphan, what are we going to get out of this? Because like many things, people look forward to taking care of a rich person's child so they get more money. Saadiyya, in the end, didn't find any children, and she said to her husband, even though there's nothing in it, let's take the child for the barakah. So she went, and immediately the Prophet latched on to her, and when she got on the donkey and she's carrying the Prophet, suddenly her donkey was leading the pack. And the other women said, what's up with your donkey? And she said, Wallahi, I have a blessed child. What a great gift granted to her, an amplified reward, requital tendered follows from services rendered. When God selects some to serve a blessed one, they too count among those who are blessed. إِذَا سَخَرَ الْإِلَهُ نَاسًا لِسَعِيدٍ فَإِنَّهُمْ سُعَدَاءُ. It's one of the great lines in the Burda, often recited. Anyway, it goes on, and I'll just finish the last section. There's one section that I'm not going to talk about tonight, but it was a difficult section for me to translate, but it's a very strong invective against the Christians and the Jews, it was understandable in the time, and I tried to frame it within the context. Shaykh Said al-Multi, who loved the Burda, the Hamziyya, and actually recited it every week. In the Sus of Morocco, they have what's called tasbih, where they recite a seventh of it every day at dawn with their hizb of the Quran, and then they recite a seventh of the Burda at night after their hizb of Quran. So they do a khatam of both the Hamziyya and the Burda, and most of the educated Moroccan scholars memorize both poems by heart. So this is the last section, and I'll finish this, and then we can talk about this. One of the things that he does in this poem is what's called fakhr, which is boasting. So there's something in Arabic called abrad al-shi'r, which are the aims of poetry. So there's different. The Arabs have like fakhr, what they call boasting, and they have hija, invective. In fact, there was a famous he was a famous master of the invective that Omar, because he was so dangerous, he actually had him in prison for a time, because he would just say the most outrageous things about people, so it was like slander. And finally he wrote a beautiful poem promising him he would never do it, and he had to take care of his kids. So he let him out. So he says about his poem surpassing all others in praise of the Prophet, for you I'm justified to jostle others over a wellspring where their pails are set aside for my praise pail. I possess a zeal to compete with other poets who seek to surpass me in ways of praise. My heart holds such extreme love for you. How can my tongue keep up with your praise? Reward this mind that delights in your laudation, knowing therein lies the heart's illumination. Accept it, O eloquent one, in uttering Vod, such that the letter Va succumb to jealousy. So the Arabs, there's a lot of books distinguishing between Vod and Va, because they're very close in the makhraj. So he's saying Va because the Arabic is called harf Dad, lughat al-Dad. So the Arabs, so he's saying even Va was jealous of Dad because it was his language. Could I, in recounting your wonders, do justice? How vast the chasm between me and that task. Your nation, the one to whom you were sent, is one that even prophets wish to be among. After you, we fear no misguidance, since with us are the scholars, inheritors of your lights. Previous prophets' miracles faded with time, but your signs fade not for all humanity, and wonders at the hands of any saints are in reality more of your hands' wonders. Indeed, among your miracles is our incapacity to describe you, for limits cannot delimit you. How could words encompass your qualities? Can dippers diminish or ladle the ocean dry? Never did I desire to seek your description.